All right, this is just really quick to walk through how you set up your domain on Create UNL and then just get it going on Dreamweaver. So we'll set up the FTP settings real quick. So make sure you go to createunl.com, get your domain, set it up, and essentially be able to log into what's called the cPanel. We'll talk more about this in the class, but it gives you a lot of options in terms of services and things that are on the server that we'll use a little bit later. We'll talk briefly about it, but for now you can just kind of leave it the way it is. So the one thing you'll need to start off with, after you sign up, you should get an email that looks something like this. It will have what's called the FTP username and FTP password. We're going to need those in a sec. It'll have your domain that we'll use as well. Look in your junk folder, look in your spam folder, just make sure you're checking the right email that's attached to Canvas so you can actually find this information, because it will be important here in the next step. So after we have those things set up, we can go into Dreamweaver, and the first thing we want to actually do is go up under Site, and we want to create a new site. Now, if you watched the previous video, we already set up a website folder and the whole structure, so you can look at that. But for now, we're just going to be connecting the FTP settings and the setting up Dreamweaver. So I'm going to name the site Create UNL. You can really call it whatever you like, but this is just a reminder of what site you're working on. And then you'll notice that there's a local site folder. So this is where we get into some vocabulary. Local just meaning the computer in front of you, so keep that in mind. We are going to go and grab the website folder we created. So mine's on my desktop. This is what it looks like, but that's in the other video. Okay. So we're going to have a website. It looks like I already used Create UNL, so we'll add it to. So we have a website folder that we connected it to. So this is the local setup. On the left side here, we want to hit servers. Now, if you're using an older version of Dreamweaver, it'll look similar. But these are the same things we're looking for. So we're going to add a new server, and here's where you're going to need those settings that we got. So again, I'm just going to call it Create UNL for the server name. The FTP address is really just the domain, so mine's adamwagler@createunl.com. Make sure it's a .com, it's not .edu, .com. And then the username is on that email, so mine's just shortened, and then the password. Okay. The last thing we're going to do is type in the root directory. Now the root directory is just kind of the main folder, is the short version of your website. So anytime you see the word directory, it's just referring to a folder on your server. So we have public_HTML is a directory on the server that we want to put our website files in, so that way they show up online. So we can hit test. And if everything goes well, you should get something that looks like this. If you get anything else, or if you see it chugging along, chances are it's probably not going to work. So we just need to double check to make sure our username and our password's correct, make sure we have our FTP address correct, and spelling counts on all these things as well. So mine worked here, so I'm going to hit save and save again, and I'm going to hit OK. So you'll see on the right side there's a files palette. And that's something that we can pay attention to, and I'd recommend from now on just kind of opening up your files and saving files to your folder that you created on the desktop, in my case, for our website. So we don't really ever have to use that folder for anything on the desktop. We just open it and access it in the files palette here. Okay. So I'm not going to open anything up. This is all the things we set up originally. So we're going to actually upload this to the server. So on the files palette, there's a little white box. If you're using an older version of Dreamweaver, it'll look similar, just a square within a square. Now this is going to pop up a window, and this is essentially the FTP app inside of Dreamweaver. Don't overcomplicate it. Local files are the files that are on your computer. Remote server are the files on the internet. And that's what we just set up. So we're going to hit the connect button. And then we're going to, for now, just select everything. And I guess originally when you set this up, you might have some other files in here. You can delete the default HTML and some of the other stuff. The CGI bin, keep it there for now. But for now, we're just going to upload everything. Make sure you drop it into public underscore. You'll see a little plus icon show up. We want to make sure it's in the right folder. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and hit yes for dependent files, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. So now that we have everything up there, we should be able to go switch over to a browser, open up a new tab, type in our web address, and then we have our site that we built and we'll be building on throughout the whole semester.